All right, sounds good. So let's dive into the training side. So today, I mean, I did this with a team yesterday, was focused more on like how to prevent that objection of like, oh, I'll just like look into this in the new year. Right, and you guys may come across that, and often that's more of a root cause problem that's often caused by yourself rather than from the prospect. Right? Too often times, if we're not covering urgency in the best possible way, diving into the relevant problem, we're gonna get that at the end of the call, like, yeah, I'll just chill out for a bit. I'll wait until the end of the year to do it. Or like if you do a really good job of the finding of the issue and diving in, and you realize that a prospect's not committed, you kind of get it out of them and then can challenge to see if they're willing to lean in a little bit more. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys an example of like how I would go about preventing that concern. And then what we want to do is we now want to actually personalize the why now question and make it more about the context of this year. That works pretty well. Um, Heard Delaware saw mute area. That's make me laugh. Um, cool. So yeah, let's dive into that. Who wants to be the guinea pig? I'll be the sales guy. Yeah, throw whatever you want
Go,
at me,
let's go,
guys.
let's go.
Yeah, I knew you'd want to be first. Cool. Sweet. Yeah, so we'll go from the problem side. We're going to get you guys to practice this as well. Want us to all be bought into it. So yeah, start from the two truths. So yeah, I mean, you've been doing your job in construction for the last like couple of years. You must like something about it.
Yeah, I love it, mate. I mean, it's very, it's competitive job, and I
Yes.
love that
Yeah,
kind of environment, definitely. So
I
yeah, I mean, I
imagine.
like my job, but
Cool.
I think I'm getting older now, and
Yeah,
my
don't
back
sound it.
hurts a lot, and
Mm.
I'm not 20 anymore, so
No, 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 that's fair dues, man. And like, I mean, that being said, you've been working that job a little bit. It doesn't sound like things are going too badly. That being said, I guess, is there anything you would change alongside what you mentioned about like the physical stuff, whether that's the money you're making from being in construction or even like how you're working your day to day? If there is any of those things that you would change.
yeah, I mean, I would change the job completely. I mean, I would
Oh,
change everything about it
how
because
how come?
yeah, because my back hurts and my knees start hurting as well, and I'm not getting younger, I'm getting older, and my head hurts as well. I have
Mm,
to wake up very early in the morning, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean also the money is not where it's supposed to be. Like I'm 10 years there and I'm still
Mm,
carrying the buckets. Like I didn't have any progress, I guess.
yeah. 10 years, it's a while as well. Okay. And like, how long would you say you've been feeling like you've been wanting something else for? And whilst you are experiencing these physical pains,
Well, I don't know, more than 5 years, I guess.
it's quite a long time.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that it's been that long, like, how has that been for you, dealing with that physical pain and just coping with that for the last 5 years? Because it sounds like you've just been, marching on with it. Like, you're still alive and well by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I drink a lot of painkillers.
Drink a lot of painkillers. I thought you take
Yeah,
pills, no?
yeah, a lot of painkillers, mate. I go to the doctor every week, and yeah, it's been tough, but at the end of the day, like you have to do it, you have to
Hmm.
put the food on the table, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, as part as like survival, absolutely. But like, what's made us stay in that job? Knowing that we're experiencing that physical pain, knowing that we want something else for 5 years. What's made us stay, even though we want to leave?
Well, I mean, I was looking into different stuff, and I mean, I never found the proper support, I guess. Like I didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to come from, and what to do.
Okay, so we didn't know how to start. I guess how far did we actually go into looking into the support and actually taking action on what we were seeing? Like, how far down the weeds have we gone? Because 5 years, it is a long time to not do anything, knowing we want something different.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of research, and trying to find different stuff that will work out. I heard about the drop shipping and
Yes. Yeah.
something that is called something like that, I
Cool.
guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I reach out to some people and they send me some trainings, but I think that's not for me, mate. I mean, this is something
Hmm.
much more easier when we talk about the util automation. So
Yeah. I mean that's a fair point. Like there's some elements of it being easier, but is that what we're looking for? Just an easy business model? Because I mean it's still a business, right? There's challenges to every single one of them.
yeah,
So
and
I
this
guess
kind
like
of
what are we looking
business
for?
is too much complex. Like if I have to find this China guys, like they're supplying me with different
Yeah.
who knows what. I mean, and nobody knows when it's going to arrive to the US, and having the customer support, and that's a lot of
Mm,
logistics. I mean, that's not for
yeah.
me.
Right, I see. So there's a few factors there, the model included. That being said, though, we've been in this kind of rigmarole for the last 5 years. Sounds like we haven't really got anywhere with the options we've looked into. So
No,
now with it,
nothing.
we're in December time here. This is where people start to chill out. They start to focus on like, getting themselves full and then really starting their New Year's resolutions that end in February next year. Right? So I guess what makes this time any different? And are we ready to make a change at this time to get ahead of
Yeah, I was
2025?
just I was just writing my goals for the next year, and I just, I made a list of like one goal only this year. Like I'm
Right.
gonna start next year definitely. So next
Oh,
year I'm
so
gonna
we
start.
don't want to start now. We want to wait to start next year.
Yeah, I mean that's the best thing to do, right? Start with a new year with the new goals.
Okay.
That's what
Is
I
there any
would do.
reason why we wouldn't look to actually prepare ourselves for the next year?
Yeah, I'm preparing myself. I mean, I'm talking to you now, I guess, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, out of the blue, of course, I've reached out to you out of nowhere. I guess that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, I guess
Yeah,
are we willing to start and get ahead of the pack before 2025 starts rather than just waiting until because that's what they say, right? Good diet starts on a Monday or a January in this case, right? So,
yeah, yeah, I was listening to those gurus online, man, and I mean, they all of them they say like write down your goals and you start new year with new goals. So yeah, that's exactly what I did, and here we are. So I'm ready for next year fully.
hmm
Yeah, to start in January, like after my Christmas, because my Christmas is on January 7th. So after that,
right.
yeah, definitely we're gonna start.
I see. So knowing that we've got, because I mean we're December 3rd, right? We have a month and 4 days until then, right? Are we willing to necessarily be prepared and actually take actions to make January the 7th, I guess, a positive amount of a momentum that we can actually build? Like, is there anything we're actually willing to do anything towards that date, or I guess just wait at this point? Otherwise, I'm not sure if I can help you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean, mate? To start now?
So yeah, if assuming that you actually like the model and it makes sense to you and you want
Yeah,
to
I
get
love
ahead
it,
and up
man. Yeah,
front,
I love it. I love it. I
yeah.
want to start. Yeah.
For sure.
So tell
And
me now.
are we wanting to wait till next month to do it though? Otherwise, there's not much we can do for you if we only want to wait to actually take action.
Okay, well, what do you suggest then?
Well, as far as like getting ahead, when would you say is the best way to take action? Sooner or later? Assuming that you have goals that you want to hit and actions that you want to take to get there.
Well, sooner, I guess.
You guess? Don't sound too sure, man. Not convincing me.
Well, I mean, if you can tell me what, okay, so tell me what can I do now? I mean, I don't know. Just
Yeah. So, I
how
mean,
this
that's the main thing is
works.
willingness,
Like,
right?
explain me, yeah, explain me
You know?
how this works, and we can, yeah,
Yeah, and the steps, by the way, that's way above my pay grade. That's really what our senior specialists cover. I'm just here to determine if we're even willing to take the necessary steps up front to
yeah,
make next year great, right? And if we are willing to, then we may be able to potentially help, but I'm, not entirely sure at this stage. And then this is when I kind of go into like the qualifications, go into booking the call. But yeah, you might get a lot of prospects like that, right? They just want to kind of like, yeah, I'm like writing down my goals. I'll start next year, right? So we just want to like prod, absolutely make sure they're even willing to make a start for this year. So
Taylor,
yeah,
were you satisfied with willingness on that triage to
I
set?
think I think eventually, but he seemed a little bit like, how do I say it? Like very green. It was like, oh, like what do you suggest? Like what do you think? Right? Super green. So I felt like I had the leadership capabilities to go, yeah, well, obviously it's going to be sooner, but I
Yeah,
wanted
priority.
I wanted him to say that. I didn't want me to say it. Right. So that's why I was always getting him to just go for it. Can we listen to you qualify and pitch the call? Yeah, for sure. I can do that. Um, yeah, no worries. Okay, cool. Well, we can start doing the qualifier then. So yeah, so with regards to actually even starting the business model, right, it's going to require a few things, time,
okay.
energy, and potentially finances to get involved. So that being said, as far as like time, how much time can you set aside every single week, or even per day in order to actually work on the business
Okay,
alongside your job?
so how much do I need to put into this? Like, is that like, like 5 hours per day, or like how that looks like?
I mean, if you can put 5 hours a day, great, the more the better. But typically, we'd recommend 1 to 2 hours per day as a consistent
Oh,
amount. Is
okay.
that workable?
Yeah, 1, 2 hours is, I mean, 5 hours, that's having another job, and I'm not looking for another job. I want to get out of that. So yeah, 1, 2 hours is cool. Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Okay.
Sure.
So it sounds like we can make the time work.
Yeah,
That being said, as well, of course, as far as the financial side, at the end of the day, it is a business, right? So I guess
right.
like that being said, you've looked into different business models. You mentioned affiliate marketing. You've drop shipping, Amazon. These things
Yeah,
have all typically required capital to learn from the right people and actually utilize resources to get started. So have we like even thought about an amount that we have put set aside in order to even start a business, even like this?
yeah. Well, uh, I do have I do have some money into my bank account. Yeah. I
For
mean,
sure.
I know that I need to invest something. I don't know, but how much is it? I mean, how much is the
Just depends on what you're looking to work on, right? At the end of the day, by helping us understand what you've got aside for like actually setting up a business or what you can access gives me a better idea of what recommendation to make. So, can you be more specific on like what you
yeah,
mentioned as far as
I
sum?
have like a couple of thousands dollars. I
Okay,
have
and that's
$1,000.
assuming like if that goes away, like you've got emergency expenses to cover for your family if anything happens. Like, want to make sure that you've got that all sorted and everything. Because I know you have a family.
Nothing's gonna happen, mate. I take care of them. Yeah.
For sure, like, I don't doubt that for a second, right? I guess as far as emergencies, tire
Yeah.
can pop in the car and stuff like that. You've got that covered though.
Well, we here in Serbia we have one fund only. Like we don't have like five different, places where we hide the money. So we have one bucket and everything is in there. So I gonna take it out anyway for, yeah, I mean, I know I need to invest. I just don't know how much it is. And I have like few
Hmm.
thousands I can set aside for this. So
Sure.
yeah. I mean,
Okay, well, as long as
I
that
can
doesn't harm
borrow
your,
some money if I have to, like,
sure. Okay. Well, the main thing is as long as it doesn't harm your well-being and where your family's at, like that, we want to make
no,
sure
no,
you're all
no,
covered
no.
for your expenses, right? So that's all good. And yeah, that being said as well, like, you mentioned having a family, does your wife or any other like important family member know that you're doing this? Or is this like a secret mission for you?
It's not a secret mission. I mean, she knows I'm doing something, and I mean, she's always involved in something like that. I mean, but at the
Hmm.
end of the day, like I made my own decisions, right?
Sure. Okay. No worries. Yeah, just making sure. And yeah,
Yeah.
that being said, I mean, it seems as though based on what we've covered, it seems like we can help. We just obviously want to make sure, as far as details, you're wanting to understand it. That's where our senior specialists come in. But
Oh,
just to summarize what we've covered, you've been in construction for the last 10 years now. You're feeling the physical effects of it for the last five, and been wanting something different, right? You mentioned how like the job it's quite taxing, I think was a word that you mentioned a bit earlier.
yeah,
And there's been some like stress, on the body, your knees giving way, stuff like that. And you don't sound like you're that old, right? But we're getting older, right? So we're starting to feel the effects of it now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, looking for a model that's, I guess, ease of use, ease of access, but enables us to make the money we want whilst having the time for our family and ourselves, right? Would you say that's a fair assessment or anything
yeah,
else you want to add?
yeah, yeah, exactly. My
Yeah.
knees hurt a lot as well. Yeah,
No, I imagine, yeah, it's no easy job. I've had, my dad used to be in construction back in the day, and he would say very much the same thing. When he played football, his knees gave way each time. So I
yeah.
understand where you're coming from.
It was a long
Um,
time in the business as well.
Yeah, I mean less than 10, I think less than yourself, but still, either way, felt the effects, that's for sure. But yeah, that being said, man, I think we can definitely help for sure. Just wouldn't like need to make sure on it and set you up with one of our senior advisors to get clarity on the next steps, help you figure out
Right.
exactly what you need to get to that, 10K a month level that you are ultimately looking for there. So does that work for you? Is that something we're open to?
Yeah, so he's gonna tell me, or you're gonna tell me how much is like the program. So how
Yeah,
does
that's
this?
all covered by the advisor, man. There's obviously ranges of ways that we can help. You've mentioned what you do have available set aside, and that typically has worked for a lot of our last clients. So, they'll
Okay.
talk about the specifics and things.
Okay,
Cool,
so 2K is enough. All right. Okay.
for sure. Cool. That being said, as well, I have a time available tomorrow. We have Cole, and then we've got Isaiah in a couple of days. What times typically work for you over the next couple?
Well, in the afternoon, like after 5 p.m. when I finish with carrying the buckets.
The buckets of all that money that you've got,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the buckets with money. Yeah.
Cool. Lovely. All right, sound. I've got 6 p.m. with Cole tomorrow, and he's
Yeah,
definitely the top guy
6 p.m.
for
is
you.
good. 6 p.m. is good. Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds
Excellent.
great.
Sweet. Yeah, sweet. So I've just booked you in there. That's with Cole. And just to give you a bit of context, right? So Cole,
Yeah.
having gone down the path of quitting his corporate job and going into the business owner entrepreneur route, he's definitely someone that I would listen to. He's following the path that you very much would want to follow in like stepping out of the 9 to 5 world. So he'll cover a hell of a lot, as far as what needs to happen to actually get to that next step and cover exactly what you need for your current situation, as well as tailoring what support we do provide. Okay, so he'll be the best guy for that. Way cooler than me. I'm probably the most boring on the team, so you're in good hands. And yeah, another thing as well. Can you check your Google Calendar, or your? I think you've got your email there. Can you double check and see that that invite has come through, and you see the Zoom link on there?
Is it called?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
guy.
that's the guy. 6
Yeah,
p.m. Yeah, I got the invitation.
yeah.
So I click on
See the Zoom
yes
link?
over here.
Yeah, you just click on yes because then you'll get the reminders to make sure you're on. And just to let you know, you may get a few automated messages. It's just making sure that you haven't you haven't caught fire or all of a sudden or that an asteroid's hit your house. We just want to make sure you're good to go for the call. All right,
I
so
sit in Serbia. Don't worry, mate.
I'm sure you're fine.
Now.
Yeah, for sure. So that will be just
Okay.
a reminder there that comes up. So yeah, you know how to use Zoom. I feel like that's a silly question nowadays, but just clarifying.
Yeah, just to click on the link.
That's it. Yep. And then hop on, make sure you're in a computer, you're in a place where you can focus because it's going to be a call that opens your eyes, I would say, and it will really give you a good amount of clarity on the next steps. So just make sure you're focused, not in the car. It's kind of hard to focus and do two things at once, especially us guys. We know that very well. So just make sure we have, we have one place that we're there for. And then, yeah, other than that as well, there is actually a resource that's been sent to your email. And that's basically a confirmation video that covers
Okay.
more about the business model, more about what to expect. And ultimately, for you, you've been in construction for the last 10 years. There's a testimonial that I've added in of a 9 to 5er previously, quit his job after so long and managed to achieve the kind of
Yeah,
results
I
you're looking
see
to
the email.
achieve.
I see some links over here. Okay. I'll
Nice.
watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll watch that. All right.
Yeah. Sure. It's going to be about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes to go through. So are you up to the task? You usually seem like you're up for it.
Yeah, mate. Don't worry. I'm gonna make it. I gonna watch it and I'm gonna remember everything that they say. Yeah.
Sure.
So I can
Cool.
take the call.
Yeah, and if not, I'll let the CEO of YouTube know, and he'll cancel all of your YouTube accounts. All right, so you better be on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I gotta make sure to watch it.
cool,
I'll watch
perfect.
it.
Sounds good. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're all good to go there. Lovely speaking with you, man. I have a lot of hope for you. I think you have amazing goals. Just obviously need some guidance to help you get there. So super excited to see what happens for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, have a great call with Carl.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I wanna learn. I wanna do it.
Cool. Sounds good. And then yeah, that's it.
So
Done.
there we go.